Hello, it's Doug and Adele back with you for another spiritual practice for this week of Lent. Today, we're going to talk about the discipline of simplicity.
Simplicity. It's a gift to be simple.
And here's why. So in Lent, we're thinking about what can we give up or give away or add in order to deepen our life. And even as a recent sermon said, think about the idols that we have that are taking the place of God. And simplicity is one of those. It usually is the case that if we're thinking about life, we often end up using the phrase, I'm so busy, my life is so complicated, I have so many things to take care of, and we feel like that's normal.
Well, and we feel like that's the good life. The good life is full. The good life is complicated. The good life is adding more and saying yes and going and doing.
So the more is better thing sort of seeps into our life pretty easily in our culture, don't you think? And yet we have a blessing of COVID. When COVID hit, we had all kinds of conversations with people who felt like, oh, this has simplified our lives a lot. We're not going out. We're not buying a lot of things. We're home with family. And
actually, it's been good for our family. We have more meals together. We maybe have too much time together, but at least we've got each other.
And so a lot of things were stripped away, and it is true. We've struggled and we sort of wished we could get back to quote unquote the normal life.
People in our house, for one thing.
Yeah. But here's the thing. We're sort of poised with vaccinations coming and restrictions loosened and good weather coming, that as we're looking to the future, I wonder what we're looking forward to and to becoming. Are we just going to say, oh, well, I'm going to fill my life up just like it used to be?
I'm going to say yes to everything. I'm going to go. I can't wait to get in a restaurant. I can't wait to get to the club. I can't wait to do all these things. And so rather than untangling or uncomplicating, we're just going to jump right back in.
Now, again, during our sanguine moments of COVID, we thought, I really want to reevaluate my life and do things different. I bet you've said that. Maybe once, maybe only once, but you probably said it at some point. And simplicity is your chance to actually say that over and over before God. Is a chance to offer your life to God in regular contemplation and reflection in your times alone with God, and maybe with your significant others, to say, what would we like our lives to be different as freedoms open? What are things that we're going to not do, not buy?
And what has COVID taught us? What has COVID taught us about what's important, about the importance of space or family or time for God, even in the midst of craziness with children? And what has a year of less and a year of exposure to systemic racism and the bitterness in our elections taught us about what really matters? Is more really what matters?
So we want to give you a few questions, and we want to just remind you, we're taking these disciplines out of Adele's book, Spiritual Disciplines Handbook. You can find out more about each of them in the few pages that summarize all of these disciplines, and simplicity being one of them. So here are some questions that might help you as you reflect before God about what would a simple life around Jesus look like as we move into more and more freedom.
So the first one I'm going to say is limit your choices. More choices is going to complicate. And so here's a couple practices. One is no spontaneous yeses. Even if it just means, that's a great ask. Can I get back to you in 30 seconds? Can I text you right back? Just take a moment. Is this really something I want in my life? Or then there's the decluttering of the house. Maybe you've done that in COVID, cleaned out the garage and the attic and the basement. But simplifying the things we have.
The stuff of life.
Also makes us feel Like there's more external space, and with external space, sometimes we feel more internal space.
It's that text that Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So what are the things, as you're thinking about starting to do, going out to eat, taking vacation,
Having people
over, how might you do that simply instead of extravagantly, or as much as you possibly could?
Last night we had someone from our little pod over, and we served soup. Simplifying, no great elaborate feast, but the importance of table, the importance of seeing one another and spending face-to-face time in significant conversation. That matters.
Mm-hmm. So ask the Lord, where has the more is better motif really had more of a grip on me than I thought? And what might it look for me to look at my resources, my time, my energy, my relationships, and my money, and be able to say, where might I simplify what I'm thinking of doing again to make space to be involved in the mission of God in a very different way, and particularly in some of these systemic racisms, the inequality, the marginalized, all those ways. We can't actually begin to do anything in those areas unless we have space. And time.
Simplicity creates capacity. And so let's create some more capacity to be available to the things of God.
Now, go with God.
Go with God.